Hello and welcome back to NoBS. Today we're talking about a fast food restaurant who's gotten woke over and over again in recent years, none other than Burger King. Today we're talking about how Burger King came out with this woke commercial talking about cow farts. That's right, we're not joking. The title of this video is not hyperbole. We are in fact talking about cow farts again. And this is a meme that came up about a year ago when AOC, a congresswoman, proposed this ridiculous Green New Deal plan that was totally outrageous, unrealistic, and just really oppressive. You know, it had a lot of things that I wanted to change. AOC was trying to like pretend she's saving the world by stopping climate change, but really she was also locking down and sneaking in her socialist agenda in there too, which has very little, if anything, to do with like saving the environment, but that's how they do it. That's how the leftists do it. They sneak in these environment claims. They pretend they're saving the planet, and then they get you hooked on their idea, and then boom, they pull a switcheroo and push their own liberal agendas anyway. Stuff they already had planned that's mostly unrelated, but that's besides the point. Today we're talking about cow farts because Burger King made a commercial about cow farts. They have this little promo they made that's actually kind of funny, kind of a goofy laugh. There's a kid in it, and there's some fake cows and gas smoking around and stuff like that. It's not the worst video, but the idea behind it is definitely silly. And the fact that they're trying to push this kind of political, supposedly, you know, they pretend that they're saving the world, but they're really trying to get this climate change thing put out there, which is pretty obvious. We can all see through it. So we're going to talk about that more today. We're going to go over this story, talk about Burger King and their video and stuff real soon. But first, let's take a quick moment to check out our sponsor. Recently, the Supreme Court has decided to not look at big Second Amendment cases, saying they won't hear appeals to several cases involving weapon laws. This has caused a blow to Second Amendment activists, and to combat this and to show our support for weapon owners, Beyond Patriots is doing a giveaway of their popular Second Amendment coin. Normally, these coins would retail for about $40, but now Beyond Patriots is giving these gold coins away for free just for this occasion. All you have to do is pay for shipping, which is an awesome deal for a really good quality collector item, and you'll be supporting our Second Amendment rights, which is really important, more important now than ever. So make sure you guys check out that exclusive link below. Get yourself a free coin today, only pay for shipping. And now let's get back to the show. Great, now that that's out of the way, let's go to the Burger King video. Here's their post of it on Twitter. It says, without a doubt, the best cow fart news you will hear today. Cow's menu, BK/sustainability. And we'll get to some of that video. I'm not sure how much we can actually play, if there's like copyrights and stuff. We'll show you guys some in a second, but just to explain the cow fart thing, like it sounds real silly and weird out the gate, but there is some truth to it. There is the studies that show that, you know, cows, farms, these cows produce this gas that hurts the environment. That's the basic premise here. And it kind of sometimes gets whittled down to cow farts, like as a way to kind of goof on AOC and her Green New Deal plan. And also the way Burger King's presenting it is obviously like in a joking manner, trying to get a laugh, but also serious. Like they're trying to propose these plans to move away from meats, basically. Like it's kind of like an anti-meat argument. But in addition, there's a smaller crowd. I think this video actually addresses just changing the cows' diets to fix their gas problem, like giving them lemongrass, I believe, gives them less gas to put out. So that might be another solution. That's a possibly, that's not, I'm not against that. Like I don't mind trying to help where we can. But like I said, the fact that this is connected to far left politics is just the worst part. And then they're kind of masking it and advertising this stuff to kids too is what's interesting.
Fart and burp and splatter. Well, it ain't no laughing matter. They're releasing methane every time they do.
Pretty catchy little jingle there. Good little song. You could see this kid is playing guitar. It's got other kids in it. And that's the problem here, I think, too, is like involving the kids, like aiming this at kids, this kind of like sort of propaganda at this point. I know that a lot of people will say it's not political, like they want to pretend saving the world and it's some kind of charity. And there is an argument for that. Like I understand we should all try to fix the world, but there's also, you can't ignore this. It has to do with like the AOC thing. And then also Burger King has gotten woke before. This isn't like their first foray into these kinds of issues. Like we've covered them multiple times. Like for example, they had these like emotion related Whoppers from a few years ago. Like we had a video about it. Like they were kind of making a goof on Happy Meals, which is their competitor's meal. And then they made not so happy meals. And then they had these other emotional meals like, oh, depressed, sad. Like it was kind of like a bummer. And it was just also a way for Burger King to try to virtue signal and like say, oh, we're down with the mentally disabled, we're down with people with mental issues and stuff like that, which is just another classic left-wing tactic and something they always do to virtue signal. And Burger King is guilty of that. They've done this kind of stuff before. They have a track record. There's multiple instances. We have multiple videos about them if you want to get caught up.
And that methane from the rear goes up to the atmosphere and pollutes our planet, warming me and you. Yes, that methane that we pass is a greenhouse gas that'll trap the sun's heat and change our climate too.
So they're finding a funny way to explain how the cow farts go up into the air and make our planet a little warmer. You know, there's arguments for that. I know this is all provable. This is true statements, but it's just being presented in a misleading way. It's like seemingly more important than it actually is. And it's also just might be like a slippery slope because once they want to change what the cows eat, they'll eventually try to take the cows out of the equation altogether, basically causing a cow genocide if you think about it. But really, I mean, we're raising these animals for food anyway. We're already using them in our diets. And I'm just not really sure how much this whole thing is going to actually help anything.
And now there ain't no question that it's helping cows' digestion, adding land and grass so they can play their part. Reducing methane.
I'm kind of like creeped out by all the kids in it, honestly, like the way they're using the kids. To me, it just reminds me of just classic liberal tactics. They always use kids to try and get you in on their politics. They put them in their promos. They talk about them. They're like the ones, like that character on The Simpsons, like that always says, well, please think of the children. Won't someone think of the children? You know, like that's liberals to a T. And that's what I see with this commercial. It's all kids in it. Obviously, it was made by adults. Obviously, it was made by leftists and these CEOs and people at Burger King trying to push this ideology. And they're trying to mask it as this charitable thing, like, oh, we're trying to fix the world. I think it's also them kind of doing damage control too, because they're realizing that their main product is the cheeseburger. The meat comes from a cow that's destroying the atmosphere. So really, if anyone's guilty of this problem, it's them. They're the ones making all these burgers and, you know, growing cows on their farms, like they're paying for farmers to make more cows. So it's kind of like coming from a guilty conscience, and then also from leftists who want to act like they're saving the world. They want to make themselves out to be heroes all the time, so they have to make their own villains. And in addition, they like to use kids as a way to manipulate you, to kind of like pull on people's heartstrings. You know, you put a kid on camera, you have them tell you a story or cry or something, and it gets you more emotional than if it was just a normal person. And that to me is just manipulative. I don't like that. I don't like exploiting kids like that and using them for propaganda like this, which is basically what we're watching.
Methane, we can reduce emissions by more than a third.
If my cow ain't farting, must be me.
If my cow ain't farting, it must be me. So there's the first adult show in the whole video. I guess that was the farmer. And he's just said that he farted, like he made a fart joke, I guess. Kind of funny. I mean, it's not bad, but I don't know what's up with this elevator ride. He's farting on an elevator, which is kind of weird. But then he also has a cow on the elevator. I mean, it doesn't really make sense. This guy's just some stereotypical farmer they brought out for this commercial. But the whole thing is it's just a bad fart joke. It's just really silly. And it reminds me again that they're aiming this at kids, you know, like if they're doing fart jokes, like it's for children. This is humor for children.
The formula is free and open source, so join it. Reducing methane, methane. Got the cow kids singing for a better world.
Those rides look pretty cool. Since we are part of the problem, we are working to be part of the solution. Okay. Well, like I said, that's a nice effort. I appreciate them trying to do something, but we got to remember that they started this problem. Like, I mean, sure, we all bought the burgers too. Like I've shopped at Burger King and other stores similar to it, but I'm not the one complaining. I'm not the one saying this is a big problem and we need to fix it. Like, yeah, it's something that could be on the back of our radar. Like, I understand we need to help the environment when we can, but I don't think this is going to save the world or be that vital. I think it's just more about Burger King virtue signaling, aligning with leftists, like trying to parrot AOC's talking points and other far, far left people that try to pretend they love the environment. But really, down the road, it's just more about control. And then if you're being realistic, they're just actually doing this for their own nefarious reasons. And the last thing I'll mention is these kids, I just kind of feel bad for these kids. Like when I see them in the commercial, like they just kind of look dead to me. Like they look like they have no life to them. They look like they've been like, I don't know, they look like they're hostages or something, you know, like they just have like these empty looks on their faces. And a few of them are making these smirks at the camera. I mean, obviously they're not like the best actors or anything. I'm not like criticizing them for that. I just kind of feel bad for them because they look like they have these like empty looks on their faces, like they're being held hostage and forced to say this dumb stuff, and they're getting like exploited, and just like it just doesn't seem like they're that into it. Like I don't think they really care as much as they're trying to pretend. Obviously, as this is just some little video like PSA commercial for Burger King, but yeah, the way they look, and it just add that together with them getting kind of exploited by Burger King, using the kids to advertise to people and then other kids, trying to get them indoctrinated into this. It's a pretty big mess. Not the worst in the world, but definitely something worth noting. That about wraps things up. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure you comment your thoughts on everything below. Also hit that like button to get this video shared. Subscribe if you're new. Hit the bell to get notifications for each video. Until next time, have a great day.